What's up? I hope y'all been enjoying the videos I've been putting out. Been really pumping them out the last 2-3 days for y'all. I've been doing a lot of different things in between. I said in between that, let me go ahead and bless them with a couple of videos that I had in the vault. Except for that Duck Dynasty thing, that just was sent, so we just roll with that one. But like the Mike Stratford stuff, all that stuff was written up for the website in advance. So now you guys had a chance to get it live. I gotta get ready to go out of here and to another meeting. So must be nice, huh? To live my life. $50 socks, $2,000 pair of shoes. No, but I'm here to answer a couple of your questions that you guys have been burning up my inboxes for. So here you go. The first question that I will be answering today is the guy who believes that I'm now turning against Floyd Mayweather. I'm going against the plan, against the man, because I didn't agree with his statement that was made. 90% of the time, of anybody you know, your best friend, you don't agree with them all the time. They might say something that they don't mean, or it might get translated the wrong way. That's what the message I was sending to him. Because see, when you guys hear something come from Floyd, 9 times out of 10, this message was bounced around a room, and this is what we're going to say. So when he does the interview, he might not even know what in the world he said, because it wasn't generally his idea to say it like that, or he didn't mean it in the way that it was being interpreted. So this is why the decision was made the way it was, and I didn't agree with how it was said. This seemed more of an agenda based, because it's like, okay, we're backing what Richard Schaefer has said, because Richard Schaefer's putting up this strong gate, and it was a cleanup job due to the Oscar De La Hoya tweet of saying, let's make these great fights next year, when he sent it to Bob Arum. As Richard Schaefer's like, hey, we're not in that direction, I don't care what Oscar said. So it was like a united front. And I understood what they were going with it, but to make Floyd Mayweather say that, it's like, it just sounds dumb. It's like, why would he do that? I hope y'all understand it, but if you don't, I can't explain it no more. Now, somebody was telling me that the money's issue, and how the money is distributed, and why the fighters, and you don't understand because it hasn't been taught to you. If you haven't been taught anything about equity and numbers and percentages, you won't understand it. And here's a prime example. Get a calculator right now, or if you own a PC, get your calculator ready. Okay? If I came to you and said, I'm going to give you $30,000 a month for a 1-month job, I'm going to give you $30,000. That's $1,000 a day. 30 days in this month, I'm going to give you $1,000 a day, you get $30,000. And then someone says, I'm going to give you 2 cents, that double each day. Which one would you take? You would take the $30,000 for the month. That's common sense. Everybody, 100% of the people who I've asked said they would take the $30,000. Now, you have a calculator. Take 2 cents and double it each day for 30 days. Meaning, 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 plus 8 is 16, 16 plus... You get it, right? Do that for 30 days. Then put in the description box what that total comes out to. And you see what I'm talking about when it comes to the scale of payment. Now, look at what I offered you. $30,000, $1,000 a day. as compared to the number you just put up on your calculator. Now, does that sound like a good deal? But when it was proposed to you, it sounded fair. And that is how the banking instruments work against you. The banking system works off that same program. Life insurance policies and companies like that work off the same scale program. And every banking instruments that use equity and numbers and percentages, where numbers fluctuate and they add on value as the years go by, these are the scales that they're using. They're doubling their money. You don't understand the numbers system yet, and everybody's looking at absolute numbers and flat rates. Like, we're going to pay you a flat rate. You never want a flat rate, because a flat rate is not going to really do nothing for you in the long run. That's why royalties and equities and things of that nature are very important, so you can have something to pass on down the road to your children. You know, that's why they came after Michael Jackson. You know, they loved Michael Jackson. He was weird and bizarre when he was making Thriller. He was weird and bizarre when he was making Bad. Once he started to get innate value, Neverland, that property in Encino, California, when Michael Jackson moved there, wasn't a lot of people in Encino, California. That land was very pricey and very popular in the community, and it's a good investment. And they only wanted his attention once he bought. And everybody's going to talk about the Beatles catalog. That's not necessarily true. Michael Jackson did just not buy his catalog. He bought his own musical catalog he owned too. For all Michael Jackson's music, Michael owned his music. And he also owned a lot of the Beatles. Not all of them, but a very large portion. But he also bought other catalogs, Sly and the Family Stone, all these other catalogs to all of these other artists who careers were over and the companies had their rights to their music, because those royalties add up over the years. Why those artists, they got to perform to get money. James Brown had to perform his entire life to get paid off those songs, while these guys sitting on their butt get paid every time somebody played in a movie, radio, syndication. Those cents add up and double up, and they're hidden bank accounts, so that even when they're dead and gone, you know, Papa Got a Brand New Band is paying for some little kid over there to go to Princeton. You see what I'm saying? But James Brown family don't get no money from that. That's the reality of the situation. That's why most African Americans or minorities don't own anything, and they have millions of dollars, and they wind up broke because their money don't go up, it's going down. They're not adding to it, and they're not getting anything with any innate value. So I hope I explained that to you the best way that I could. And then, yes, if you wanted to know the total, if you just don't have a calculator, it's over 10 million. It's almost $11 million. If you took 2 cents, that doubled each day by 30 days. Oh, almost 11 million. It's like 10,700,000 or something. So now you see the scale. And what else to talk about? What other questions y'all had? Oh, why Manny Pacquiao just couldn't wait for Floyd Mayweather? Okay, I'll say. Why Bob Arum? Okay. This person rants. Just leave a question. Don't rant. I understand you want to explain your question and really talk about it, but okay. This person was saying, why did Bob Arum just, instead of making the date for Manny Pacquiao, just try to make the fight with Floyd Mayweather on May 3rd? Because here's the deal. You can't make fights with people that are not trying to make a fight with you. Floyd is not trying to fight Manny Pacquiao in May. Manny Pacquiao and Bob Arum are not trying to fight Floyd in May. If it happens in September, that would be a shock to the system, but I doubt it's going to happen in September. But Showtime is willing to make the fight. Bob Arum is willing to talk to them about making the fight. so that they say, and so he's spoken to a couple of people. He's already said that, but Mayweather Promotions hasn't made any notion to it, and neither has Golden Boy Promotions. They only want to do a negotiation where they are the promoters and the head promoters of the event, and Top Rank is being assisted. They're only going to be on the banner. That's it. But it's going to be Golden Boy's show. And it's really a pissing contest with Richard Schaefer and Bob Arum, because Schaefer's been out of shape, that he feels Bob Arum and his team helped All-Star Boxing or whatever with the Canelo situation, with the courts ruling against Golden Boy, and Golden Boy is going to be out of millions of dollars because of it, and he thinks that Bob Arum is friends with that promoter who owned Canelo, and they stole him from that promoter. And this is why you guys are being robbed of the Pacquiao fight with Mayweather. Richard Schaefer is pissed about that. And he says, oh, these guys are all friends and they all work together to do this to us, and that's why you're being punished. So now you know the truth behind everything. That's why you're not going to see anybody try to work to put the fight together. Because Richard Schaefer has no plans of trying to work to put the fight together. He wants it to be all on his terms or nothing. That's the way he feels. He don't want Bob Arum to make a dime off that fight. And that's just not going to happen. Why would Bob do it if that's the case? So you need to tell Richard Schaefer to bury the axe or the hatchet and say, okay, we'll sit down with Bob Arum and you talk and try to get this fight done. That's what the fans need to do. Say, we know you hurt over Canelo in that situation, but you need to put that to the side so we can get to the betterment of boxing. Now, is somebody going to do that? Nope. Okay then. And you're going to say, that ain't the case. That is exactly the case. That is exactly what's going on. That is exactly the problem. And if Golden Boy don't want to do the fight or have a problem with doing the fight with Top Rank because of that, Manny Pacquiao has an extended contract with Bob Arum and Top Rank that surpasses 2014. Manny has signed another extension. So get that notion that he's going to get out of his contract, buy it out. He cannot do it. Okay, Floyd bought his way out of the contract because he only owed $70,000 to get out of it. He was at the end of his contract. To buy the rest of his contract out was very cheap for him. And a lot of fighters are not in position to buy themselves out. And Manny is definitely not in that position. Now, was that the best idea for him? Probably so, because people, y'all got to realize, if he fights Floyd Mayweather, he's not getting 30 and 40 million no more. He's going to get a one-time sum, because after he gets beat by Floyd, nobody going to care about Manny Pacquiao no more. Manny Pacquiao is not going to be mentioned. If Floyd destroys him the way we all know he's going to, make it a one-sided fight, what are we going to sell Manny Pacquiao as? He's going to be on HBO's Boxing After Dark. World Championship Boxing. Who's going to see another pay-per-view from Manny if he gets blanked by Floyd? Nobody, because they got what they wanted. They wanted to see Floyd and Manny. They saw it. Boom, it's over. You know, he gets blanked by Floyd too? Come on. Who's going to want to see Manny again? I mean, at that level. You're going to have a Manny Provodnikov type matchup, which I don't think is going to be pay-per-view. You got World Championship Boxing all in his future. That would be his last pay-per-view if you put him in there with Floyd. But if you keep him away from Floyd, you can probably put 2-3 pay-per-views on with Manny. So Manny will probably make more money doing these pay-per-views over here than what he going to get over there, because he going to get nothing but an A-whooping over there. And I'm out. Deuces.